Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio, and I'm a bit croaky still after Dortmund Regionals, but today I want to talk, maybe for the last time, about Pikachu with grey felt hat. This is a Van Gogh Pikachu, and it's honestly been a little bit of a whirlwind, because initially, we all kind of assumed this card, at least I assumed, this card to be quite easy to get hold of. It was made available at the Van Gogh Museum, but then it was taken off the shelves. People were stopped giving it out. They literally made an official announcement saying, we're not doing this anymore. And the entire reason is because people couldn't behave. Like, it really was as simple as that. People couldn't behave. So they took it off the shelves at the Van Gogh Museum, but they made it available at the Pokemon Center, and the first wave went, frankly, very badly. It was discoverable by bots before it could be found by people searching on the website, and guess who got them all? But then there was a second drop, and most of the people I know that really wanted to get them in the second drop got them in the second drop, and it worked out all right. And it was still super duper rare, don't get me wrong, and it sold out like super quickly. But I know a lot of people that were sitting on the website trying, and I know a lot of people that were successful. But that's a lot of people, that's not everybody. And you see, things changed. Because after that drop, the card kind of went away. And we were told it would be coming back to stores in the Netherlands, but we weren't told when, and we weren't told how many. And basically, the price of Van Gogh Pikachu kept going up and up and up. And this was a bit of a problem. And people were hoping for another Pokemon Center drop. It never happened. I saw people sharing around this, saying that said there was going to be another Pokemon drop, and it does say there's going to be another drop at the Pokemon Center. This was also published before the last drop at the Pokemon Center. So, we're sitting here wondering about the Netherlands. Wondering about these cards going back to the Netherlands and what's going to happen. And I reported the other day that I was told by a bunch of people, and again, this was true and believable, that local game stores are getting 10 of these. Literally 10. 10 per store. It was shared by a shop on Reddit, but I heard it from other people as well. They were promised 100, they got 10. And I told you that this could end up being a big problem, because it meant a lot of people were not going to have access to the card. Because if every store's getting 10, they're just not going to find their way into the hands of fans very easily. And again, and I tell you this every time, when I'm making these videos, I'm giving you the best information I have at the time. I am giving you the best, most up-to-date information I have at the moment I make the video. Things change. Now, in terms of the 10 being given out at local game stores, as far as I am aware, that's still true. I don't believe local game stores got more than that. Here's the thing, though. Bigger game stores did. Now, as a side note, and the lovely Primal Lugia corrected me about this, a couple of you other lovely Dutch people out there did as well. The other day, when I was giving you my list of stores that are getting it, I included, now forgive my pronunciation here, Diverse Spellen Special Zaken. Yet turns out that's literally just a Dutch for local game stores. It's not the name of a store. It is saying they will be available at local game stores in the Netherlands. So, sorry about that. That was a little bit silly. Well, speaking of the lovely Primal Lugia, they tweeted out this a couple of days ago. Van Gogh promo number 2 secured. I'm a happy man. And this led me to doing a bunch of digging. And I've still not seen anything about local game stores getting more than 10. As far as I am aware, this is still the case that local game stores are getting very, very few of these, and trying to pick them up from local game stores is proving to be very, very difficult. But bigger game stores are getting a bunch. Now, they're generally only giving them out in person, which is very important to note. But it turns out bigger game stores, not your local game stores, but your national stores, are actually getting enough of these to be giving them out in decent numbers. And I've heard a bunch of other stuff from people in the Netherlands backing this up. I'm still not hearing much about local game stores getting a load, and for that I apologise. But I am hearing that bigger game stores in the Netherlands are actually getting a bunch. And this is awesome. It is making it more available. It means a bunch of people can get hold of them. This is just spectacular. However, that leads us to the very big question, the most important question for basically everyone outside the Netherlands. What's this done to the price of the card? And the answer is, yeah. Does seem to be helping, frankly. It does seem to be helping. Now, it's not perfect trying to look on eBay, but here a couple of weeks ago, back at the end of January, I screenshotted a few in a row. There's one that sold for 100, but that was a buy it now. They might have priced it lower. One that sold for 145, and most telling of all, one that got bid to £142. We're looking at UK eBay here because these cards are more available in Europe than they are in the US. Okay, what about yesterday? What was happening yesterday? Well, we had one that sold buy it now for £70, but again, that could not necessarily be trusted. That could be somebody undervaluing it, etc. We had one that sold and was bid to £67. This seems to represent a significant drop in price. Now, you do need to be careful because like the £70 one I'm showing you here is unsealed. It's not in the pack. And that is very, very important. The unsealed ones are obviously a lot cheaper. But it looks like the £67 the one got bid up actually is. It seems to be, and like as I'm looking right now, I'm not seeing a bunch of people that are paying over £100 for this card. Bearing in mind a few weeks ago, you couldn't get it for less. It's selling pretty regularly for £70 or less. This is a big, big, big change. Now, I did have a quick look over at TCG Player. And look, TCG Player says it's falling. TCG Player also says it's been falling since the end of October. So, realistically speaking, that's not too helpful for us today. Essentially, if it's been falling since October, what that means is people were overpaying until October, and since then, things have been settling down a bit nicely. And the last solds are all like $115. They are quite expensive. But do remember that this is a card from a promotion that was given out in Europe. It was made available on the Pokemon Center in Europe, although admittedly the US as well. It was made available at the Van Gogh Museum in Europe. It is currently being made available in stores in Europe, in the Netherlands. So just please bear that in mind, because it's going to be a bit cheaper over here than it is in the US. All right? That is very, very important. Having said that, the last sale in the US was $100, which is cheaper than the $115 that it was looking at on TCG Player. And this was a sealed one sold in the US by a US seller to people in the US. I know it says $20 postage, but obviously I'm in the UK, so it's basically saying what it would cost to ship to me in the UK. It's not going to charge you that if you're in the US. But just letting you know, in case anyone's looking and going, hang on a second, Wassy, what about the shipping? The shipping is because eBay knows I'm in the UK, all right? That's the answer. So what conclusion is there to be drawn? Well, firstly, prices are going down. And there has been a significant decrease in the past couple of days as this card has started being given out in the Netherlands. That is not a coincidence. But this is it. Do not expect this card to be given out anywhere else. There were rumours flying around a while ago that it was coming back to the Van Gogh Museum. That never made sense, partly because they literally told us it wasn't, and partly because the exhibit is over. There's been rumours it's coming back to the Pokemon Center, but they haven't actually said that. This seems to be, and I could be wrong, things could change, but as it stands at the moment, this is it. This is the end of the promotion. This is your last chance. What that means is, over the next week or so, as these cards are given out in the Netherlands, you are going to see the prices dropping. And this is awesome. But there is going to come a point where it stops dropping. And when it stops dropping, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. Because at that point, it is going to go up and it's not coming back down again. So keep an eye on this. If you've not got this card yet and you want this card, the next week or two is probably going to be as good as it gets. Now, I can't promise. I'm not a mind reader. I'm not clairvoyant. I could be wrong. But logic dictates that if we've got the last big drop of cards, and it does seem to be way bigger than I was giving it credit for. But again, the information we had was it was 10 to every local game store. Turns out bigger stores are getting more of them. We didn't have that knowledge, that information, when I told you this a couple of weeks ago. But then when these are gone, it doesn't look like they're ever coming back. So keep an eye, because once it starts climbing again, it's probably climbing forever. Right, that's what you need to know, and now it's over to you guys. Have you picked up this card yet? Do you want to pick up this card? Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon, card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Andrew Kincaid, who's been a supporter for a while now, is a very lovely person, has helped us out with a bunch of stuff, so shout out to them for being awesome. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.